look as if he's have just come straight away for the Green Brigade.
Aye, we'd have meeting at 6:30, mate.
That's who we are. The best on the planet. Unbelievable.
I love that. It's what I love.
First of all, before we go on tomorrow, we'll just want to say about Greg Taylor, mate. That's why the boys call him Oxo, because he's absolutely different gravy.
Yes, Jason, and we're back. Welcome to the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford, and we're joined by Jason. Captain Ange is in full swing. The other mob, as we are now called, are in full flight ahead. Jason, how are you, mate? And I hope you're well.
I'm absolutely buzzing. Been a good week. I've not the smile off my face. There's been a few week-long absences in work this week, I know. And I've been blocked off of a few pages on Twitter this week as well. But aye, it's all good, mate. It's all good. I can't complain. Still buzzing at it, mate. Aye.
Like you says, mate. Obviously, the other mob, as we were called, and I think that'll stick with us for a wee while, Jason, because it's quite funny now. A lot of people, obviously, the last few days have been hurting. Some media outlets are hurting, fans are hurting. We're absolutely buzzing. Don't really think for me, Jason, it's not a surprise what has happened. But we'll get into it during the podcast. But anybody who's watched on the YouTube, please, and the live feeds, please subscribe to the channel. And a wee like and share, please, would be absolutely amazing to kickstart the night and get us rolling. All support is much appreciated, and we thanks for tuning in tonight. Well, Jason, like I says, Captain Ange is in full flight, mate. How have you been since the game? What's your kind of thoughts been since the cup final win? And obviously looking forward to the rest of the week. What's your feelings, mate?
First of all, I mean, I've obviously not spoke. I've not been on the game since the game. Thought thoroughly deserved it, mate. Thought we were really good. I think our midfield was that midfield three was absolutely phenomenal. It's just good. It's the sheer dominance. You know, I think we proved that we're miles and miles and miles ahead of them. We're just, it's not even the way we play, just the way that our club is ran is just proper. Do you know what I mean? We're a proper, it's really good. And I think it's, as Alex Johnson said, you know, this is going to be the first of a few this year. I think, you know, we don't want to talk about the other, but we don't want to say that dreaded word. Do you know what I mean? Because we might get eggs on our face, but it's definitely in my thoughts anyway. But we can't get complacent, and we just need to. I think come the weekend, it'll just be business as usual again. I think Ange will have managed to have calmed them down a wee bit. I think he'll have let them go and celebrate. But I think now it'll be back into focusing on the game on Sunday.
Aye, I think that's the thing for me, Jason. You you've had your success, you celebrate it, but now it's in a brand new week. It's a brand new competition, really. You're back into the league game now, so you need to focus on that. But in my opinion, Jason, with football, you need to celebrate big wins. You need to celebrate your triumphs, because if you don't, then for me, that's when I think maybe some players might get a bit sick. Because I've heard in past and previous podcasts through other outlets and football outlets that I think Simon Ferry actually said it. He said that with Swindon, they were training all the time, no getting days off. I think sometimes if you're not getting days off, Jason, and you're winning and you're doing well, sometimes I think you must feel what we're doing this for sometimes, because you're winning but no actually get to celebrate. And I think because these days the way football is in terms of sports size and health and fitness, and these guys are built with athletes. It's not like back in the day. So you see them maybe having a drink. Some people are going, "Oh, why are you drinking?" Well, they're still normal human beings. So I think in football, Jason, doesn't matter what level you're playing at. I think you need to celebrate your triumphs and you need to celebrate big wins and big trophies, because that's what it's all about. And one thing I want to point out, Jason, I don't know what you feel, but the atmosphere at the weekend was, again, it highlights, in my opinion, that to us, one of the best fans in the world, but obviously other outlets will say you're one of the best, maybe, but I think it highlights, Jason, that the half-time show was phenomenal. The singing for the full 15 minutes, and normally guys would go for a ball and a pie, or go outside at Hampden, you can go outside and have a cigarette if you want, etc. But when it comes to that game at the weekend, nobody moved, people were all singing, it's a party atmosphere. And for me, it just epitomises the Celtic support. And again, Jason, you don't get that down south. You don't get fans staying at half time and singing. And I know you're not going to have all these piles, I get that, right? But you don't get all that down south. You don't get the, how do I call it, the match day derby experience. You don't get that down south, because it's just all the same, in my opinion. You might get Man U and Man City, and they might hate each other. We don't live in that kind of thing, Jason, so we don't really know exactly what it feels like. But we know up here it doesn't get the coverage and the whatever else it's for down south. It's kind of scrutinised. But in my opinion, mate, I think that game on Sunday there just epitomised the fans.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've always, you see people with the telly and that, and they're advertising it's like pure Man U Liverpool and it's a derby and all that, and there is nothing that will come close to a derby match between Celtic and Rangers, in my opinion. I think that the weekend proved it. I thought the displays were brilliant. I like the flares and all that. I do like it. I know you're not meant to have all the, but I like it. I think that it adds to it. But Celtic fans get these votes and get voted the best fans in the world and all that for a reason, because it's true. And we proved that. I think the work that the Green Brigade and the boys do is unbelievable, and I think you would notice you couldn't imagine Celtic Park or Hampden or Cup games there without them now. I think some people might have their opinions on them, that they might bring a lot of negativity and all that sort of stuff, but I think when you think of Celtic, that's you now think of the support in the Green Brigade, and it was really, really good. But no, I was really impressed with it. I think the banners and it was good. And I mean, I'm not the greatest fan of Hampden, to be honest with you. I don't really think that it's that good this year. I think you're too far away for the pitch and all that. Because I've been at a few cup finals when we under Rodgers, when we won the first treble against Aberdeen, and we were behind the goals, and I didn't really like it, mate, because I don't feel that you're that close to the pitch. But no, it was really, really good on Sunday. Actually, really, really good. They were brilliant. And I just thought, I think that probably spurred us on a wee bit as well. I think, I don't care what anybody says, I think the players feed off it. I really do. And I think that the year we don't talk about proved that.
Aye, for me, mate, I think it's massive, the fan base we have got and what actually happens at games, because it is kind of like a 12 men, because especially European games, Jason. It's for me, you hear a lot of very, very top class players speak about the atmosphere at Celtic, and it's always former professionals or ex-professionals that played with Celtic and guys who have moved on for Celtic. They speak about it all the time, and I think sometimes some players, again, I think when they go to pastures new and it doesn't always work out, they always talk about Celtic, and sometimes I think it must be hard, Jason, as well, that I don't think some players actually kind of live in the moment sometimes. And you've seen that with Joe Hart, and he was looking about, you need to take it in, it's special. And I don't think maybe some players, because maybe just they're in that moment, they don't actually take it in. But then when you leave Celtic, when they look back, they go, "Barry, what a place that is, and fan base." And I think sometimes, Jason, it takes some maybe guys to come out of the situation to then to look from afar, and you realise how big the fan base is and how much it actually does feed onto the park.
Yeah, there's been a few players that have left, and they've been like, it was the biggest we should have done. I think Gary Hooper said that if he could turn back, he would never have left.
Mm-hmm.
They've obviously got their reasons for why they want to leave. Do you know what I mean? But James Forrest has always said, he's like that. Why would I leave here? Nothing's ever going to compare to what I've got here. I think it's an old cliche saying, you don't really know what you've got until it's gone. Do you know what I mean? And Joe Hart, he must be absolutely loving it, because he probably didn't think that he would ever have been winning trophies and playing in cup finals again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's come up here, and again, a lot of people have negative words to say about Joe Hart, but I really like him. I rate him. I think he has a good goalkeeper. I think he's good to have in the changing room, because people forget what he's won, Ryan. He's won the Premier Leagues, he's won the FA Cups, he's played in the World Cup, he's played in Italy. Do you know what I mean? So he's played at a high level, and I think he's very, very. It's like we were talking about when we went to the Managerial night, and it was like, you know, we were talking about how good like having Carter Vickers and all that into the changing room and all that. But Joe Hart's a massive part of that. Do you know what I mean? Where he can calm it down. You know, with certain points of the game on Sunday, which I noticed as well, where we were just getting the ball and they were kicking it up. He was kicking it up the park, and they'd asked Ange after it. They said, "What did you say?" He went, "Well, I just thought I left that up to them." Mate, that's massive. That's massive experience that he's been like that. No, we'll get the ball up and we'll do that. But it's good, man. We're just everything about Celtic now is buzzing.
Just got some comments for YouTube. Hail. Evening, hail. Evening, gentlemen. Evening, mate. Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. Another one as well from a usual listener, James. Hope you're well, James, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Hail, troops. Ange enjoyed the win. Great week. Aye, I would say so, mate. I would say Ange did enjoy it, especially from Jason. I think he'll bring you in that one, mate. I think Ange would enjoy it. Obviously, it doesn't seem the type of man that actually like gloats in satisfaction and etc. But I think for what's been said since he's come in and kind of what he's brought to Celtic and what people thought he was going to bring to Celtic, i.e. the outside noise, he's looking going away by Christmas, and you know, Gio had him sussed, and Michael Beale's maybe get his measure, and etc. The other mob and this, and I think everything just came to fruition on Sunday. What Celtic are trying to do, and I still don't believe Celtic were, in my opinion, Jason, parts of the game they were, but not the full game at a full pomp. But I think Ange might take a bit of satisfaction, maybe no publicly, but maybe inside and going, right, that's me getting all one of them, because there's a lot of people doing a lot of talking, and Ange isn't a guy for talking. He's quite good with the media. He's no dry, but he says what he's got to say, and that's it. And it's no headlines. He's just does his thing on the park, and now he's come out and says that he's going to be here for a while by all accounts. You don't know how long I'm going to be here for. Basically, again, it's bluffing the media again. It's getting the media talking. Oh, what does that mean? Is he going to be here for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years? He's totally good with media, Jason. But I think I do agree with James. For Ange, I think it was a very good week for him personally, because I think he will take a bit of satisfaction, mate, personally. Maybe no out in the public, but I think maybe behind closed doors in his house, maybe he's lying in bed at night, he might go, brilliant, get in there.
No, I think he did. You could sort of tell the way that he was celebrating at the end of it. Look, listen, he said a guy sitting there for the last 3-4 months saying that he's lucky and he's not a good manager because he's had and not really shown him any respect, but which is fine. Do you know what I mean? But there's a way to go about it. Do you know what I mean? And he's sort of he said a lot of things. He showed that his lack of class probably. But mate, he's going to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Because I think Ange, we know Ange he conducts himself very well. He's very articulate in the way that he goes about his business. But you likely find that when they're in the training room, he's probably like, aye, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? That one was sort of. I personally think that all the talking that was getting done towards him and towards us, that other mob and all that, mate, that see for me, that just fuels me. Do you know what I mean? Like that, they think we're daddies here, so let's just go out and show them we're not. But I agree with you, mate. I was saying to my dad the first half, I was like, listen, we've not been that great here. I didn't think, even though, right, we were never in any great danger, but we weren't really doing much. We were just, it was cagey and all that. But Ryan, we've said it in previous pods. I don't think we've been at our full pump this full season, which is frightening. It is absolutely frightening that we have not. I still think we've been. Some games we've not been that great, but we're still in control and we're still winning games of football convincingly. And you know, if there's going to be that one game though that this year we are going to hit our full pump and we're going to click, and God help them, by the way. God help them, man.
I think in general, it's scary for Scottish football in general, Jason, that there's only been certain games where we've been what we would call full flow, free-flowing football, and totally what we had maybe parts of last season. But I don't think we've had to be great, Jason, because I don't think anybody in the league, even Rangers at this precise moment, can really compete with us. You can maybe in a one-game scenario, but over the league, that tells you right now that teams can't. For me, I just think we're miles ahead, mate. I said it on previous pods. I said it before the game. I've said it kind of just about all season, mate, that in every capacity, I think we're better, but I will touch on that more. But I've got a wee comment from Martin. Hi, Martin. Hope you're well, mate. Have you seen Lundstrom's interview? I've seen bits of it. I'm not really one for watching any other team's press conferences. I only really watch it up to the league game to see what they're saying. But in my opinion, Jason, I don't know. I totally get, Jason, that the other teams like Rangers, Aberdeen, Hibs, etc., that when they're chat, obviously no Hibs and Aberdeen, but I'm just talking about it as a generic. You've got to be faithful about your team. You've got to really want to prove to anybody that you're the best. That's why you're professionals. You want to try to be the best. I get that. But there's ways of when to say it, when not to say it. And in my opinion, Jason, I really don't know who's getting out the press duties at Rangers, because why Eric still saying that the gap's no bigger and this and that? You've just been beat with your rivals who didn't really come out a second gear. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong to other people, but in my opinion, parts of the game were a wee bit sticky. Some parts of the game, but most of the game, I thought we dominated. I didn't think we were any real, apart from the goal, which was due to a mistake, and apart from the Sakala miss, I can't remember any real chance that Rangers had. We had a few, but the two main chances we scored from, because we're more clinical.
Did Kent not hit the post?
I don't think so. Not that I can remember. He might have, but that just shows you how much I remember the game, because all I remember the game was Celtic. Celtic, in my opinion, were dominant. Parts of the game, again, after obviously the goal, it's natural to drop half a wee bit because your teams can want you. That's just natural, but we coped with it. But on that interview, Jason, I'm not going to spend too much on it myself, but I just feel that still came out and saying the gap's not that big as what people are saying it is, and this and that. You've just got to look at what's been happening. You're 9 points behind when Celtic have not been absolutely amazing. We've still been very good, but I think we can still go another 2-3 gears upwards. And then you've just been beat after your rivals, and pretty comprehensive in my opinion. And then you're saying that I just don't know how they're letting them come out and say that, Jason. I don't know if it's because I know sometimes these can be scripted and you've got to say what they're telling you to say, and that's the way. But I just think it's crazy. I totally get you've got to back your team. I get that. I totally get it. But sometimes there's a time to just go, like, I'm not going to say Johnson's going to come out and say it on a presser that we're miles behind, etc., etc. But all you need, I don't know what you would say, but don't come out and say that the gap's no big when it clearly is. Maybe say something different, but don't come out and say it's no, because let's be fair, Jason, the facts are to be seen that they are in every capacity, in my opinion.
Aye. He's answered a question that he probably didn't want to get asked, because one of those ones is that if he turns around and says, "I we are years ahead behind them," going to get slated for it. And he said that they're no years in front, that we're no that much better than him, and he's getting slated for it. So I would agree with you on that. That I don't know who's letting them ask the questions, but listen, we don't need validation for John Lundstram or anybody. He done to let people know that we'll be a better team. I think we've proved that. They've no beat us since Ange Postecoglou's first one at Ibrox when Gerrard was still there. So they've no beat us for over a year in 90 minutes. As I say, we've not been at our full pomp. We weren't that great at Ibrox, and they could only draw with us. And in my opinion, by the way, that was them probably at their strongest. I think that 11 the 11 that started on Sunday as well would have been the starting 11 that I probably would have picked. So I don't understand where he's coming from. If they want that, they're going with that mindset that they know that. If they want to believe that, that's fine. But any normal person with any sane mind would listen to that and be like, that right, no bother. I mean, you've even got Derek Ferguson coming out and basically saying that we're years ahead of them. Do you know what I mean? But if John Lundstram says they're no, then it must be true. So,
but a wee comment from YouTube, Jason, from Ross. Hail, boys, loving the show as always. No team in the league can live with our style of play. And Big Jason is spot on. We haven't even got in top gear, and that is a frightening prospect. Aye, Ross, thanks for tuning in, mate. Really appreciate it. I agree, Jason. I agree with what Ross says there. Obviously, what you said there, mate, that I don't think right now anybody can live with. It's obviously a one-off game, Jason. Anything can happen, but over the piece, mate, I just don't think any team right now can live up to the standards that we've set. For me, it's just, I'll bring you back on that one, mate, but for me, it's just, it's getting to, again, I keep saying it, people will probably say, Ryan, you're getting back over all ground, but it's just getting the same feeling that we had under Brendan Rodgers. You're turning up, again, you've no divine right to win any football game, I get that, but you're turning up to Celtic Park, even cup finals now, or semi, whatever it is, right, how much we're going to win? Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 3? Is Jota going to get a brace? Is Kyle going to get a brace? That's just unnatural feeling, because you know you're the better team, so you've got to go in very, very confident. I'm like you, I'm not going to sit in here and talk about trebles, because you've still to play a tough game in the next round, which will be a tough game. So, but you've got to have it on your thinking, because the league isn't fully done, but you'd like to think, barring an absolute accident, you can't see starting points. Well, maybe that'd be odd point, but no losing 4 games. So, of course, you've got to look at the next trophy, and that's is win the league and getting through to the Scottish Cup final. Listen, you've got to look at every trophy you play for. So, the treble is going to be on maybe the fans' mind, but not on the players' mind. They've got to obviously keep every game's a new game, 3 points, and then it's just that's it. It's just that same thing every training session, right? One on Saturday or one on Sunday, whatever it is. We just keep going midweek, right? We go again. So, but for me, Jason, I totally agree with what Ross said there. I think it is a scary thought for Rangers and the rest of Scottish football, because I just only see us improving again, Jason, after the summer. Hopefully that is with Champions League football, which means it's more money for winning the league, guaranteed football in Europe, group stages, money as well. you're already ahead of them. I think it was £59 million, I think, roughly, that was said in the bank. And then that's maybe plus next year, your season ticket sales, your training gear sales, maybe somebody might leave for good money, the Champions League money. You're going to be, as it's still game says, Jack Victor. And I went right ahead again. You know what I mean? It's going to be like that type of thing again. So for me, Jason, I think if you win the league this year, not just Rangers, mate, but the rest of Scottish football, they'll be playing a big, big catch-up.
Yeah, I would agree, that we are years and years ahead of anybody in this league, and it's frightening because, mate, even our bench would beat every team in this league. And that might sound pure so big-headed and all that, but I call it as I see it, and that, in my opinion. That, I mean, you look at that bench. That's a bench on Sunday without James Forrest on it, who has won everything up here. Do you know what I mean? You're bringing on players like Haksabanovic. Turnbull never even got on the park on Sunday. Do you know what I mean? Didn't even go on the park. Ralston can't go on the pitch. It's just, how can other teams in Scotland catch? The only way that they're going to catch us is if we stop, rest on our laurels, and we get complacent like we did when Dyer was in there, and do you know what I mean? We got lazy. But I think that was a wake-up call for the board, so I don't think that would happen again. But it's frightening that how we are, and I would agree with you as well. I was the same under Rodgers, that we were turning up to games and it was like, how many are we going to win by? Even under Rodgers, against Motherwell, we were getting beat 2-0. I'm like, we'll no lose this. We won 5-4 or something. Remember? So that's the way that it is again now. Even if we're going, how many times have we this year and last year been getting beat 1-0 or 2-1 with 5 minutes to go, and we've won the game 3-2? Or do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And that's just, and you do get confident, and you don't. And I hate being this confident about my team, but I go into every game and we could be right. Okay, we're playing such and such a day. I think that'll be a 2 or a 3-0. Or if we're playing Livingston a day, usually a hard game. You'll take the 1-0 against them because they're a good defensive side. I don't think any other teams in the league know how to play against us, because there's that many options, because they kind of go, we don't know if he's going to play Maeda or Jota or Haksabanovic and Jota or Forrest or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So teams don't know how to defend against us, don't know how to set up against us. So it's good, man. And I've said it before. I said it to my dad as well. I'm 32, and I've never seen a Celtic team play like this or operate the way that we operate. And I'm including transfers and all that in this, that and all, because usually Celtic have been on the last day trying to get players in. I've never seen us be so proactive. Never seen us play this type of football before. I honestly do think that this team's better than Rodgers' team, only because, in my opinion, it's a stronger Rangers that we're up against.
That's fair, right?
Don't get me wrong. I think that Rodgers, in his own merit, was a very, very good side. Brilliant. You can't deny what he won. But I just think that this team's better. They're more athletic, they're fitter, and they've got that. They've only get beat. Do you know what I mean? But I would love to see the two of them go. I would love to see the two of them go head to head.
Aye, I think that would be interesting. Two set of teams, mate, if they were to play. But if you comment on YouTube, but first I want to show this man. And he's there, he's still crying, Mr. Ian Beale. For me, he's still talking. He's saying about, obviously, he was coming out today, Jason, and he was saying that he thinks that there's going to, obviously, he keeps talking about rebuilds, etc. And a wee comment as well from Patrick. Thanks for tuning in. They'll sack Beale once they get a couple of hammerings off of us. I think they won't like he's talking about rebuilds. Now, the board probably won't probably want him to talk Davis, Arfield, etc. on signing new deals. In my
See
opinion,
that?
Jason, go.
See, but they're talking about, right, but he's talking about with Beale. They were talking about his record, right? Somebody put it in the chat today. I think it was Ada. See if you look at Beale's record to Gio's record, it's the same. It's the exact same. Gio only ever lost against us, really. So what's the difference? Has it really changed? I don't think it has. From what I've seen, anyway. From what I've seen, they've got that new manager bounce. That happens everywhere you go. That can only carry you for so long. Tell you, there's question marks above his head, 100%.
Because I've always said, at the start of the season, and I even said it about a few weeks ago as well to JP, and I've said to you as well. My old man as well, I've even spoke to. I don't think Michael Beale really, really understands the job he's coming to, because the rebuild that they've got to have, I'm not going to say it's exactly the same as yours, but it's going to be a big rebuild. And I don't think, Jason, because let's be fair, but it looks like they're going to lose the league, right? Barring an absolute catastrophic error for us. They're not going to get the money for the Champions League. It's going to be harder to qualify because they're going to have a kind of half if not a full, but at least half a brand new team going into qualifiers. Having to qualify is hard enough, never mind with a fully fit squad, never mind a brand new squad. So I think he's got a massive job under his hands. I think every other team in Scotland has got a massive job to compete with us, but I firmly believe that I don't think Mr. Beale has really got to... Because see that the thing that for me, Jason, would be alarming, right? He was actually contemplating about defeat. If we get beat, I've still got a big job to get on. I've still got to continue. Why are you even contemplating defeat? This is what I'm saying. He's coming to presser saying, if we get beat, if we don't win, but then he's got to go into his dressing room and say, right, guys, go and beat your rivals, go and win me a final. But even though I've just said that we might get beat, I don't know what he's trying to do, Jason. I just think it's inexperience. He's only had one job, and he started well with it, and then he started to drift off. I just think it's inexperience, Jason. But again, that'll come with him because of many managers in Scotland or anywhere else. He'll get more experience. But I just think sometimes, Jason, there's things to say in the media and there's things to know. But in terms of our rebuild last year, Ange's done it perfectly well. I think we had the manager to do a rebuild. He's done it before. I think some Rangers fans are actually, listen, we've all got opinions about our rivals' fans, but the guys who are actually know football and they're not just blue tinted specs, they know they've got a massive job under their hands by this new rebuild, which, again, it will be a rebuild because the guys out of contract and guys don't want to be there. So for me, Jason, I think we're in a very, very good position in terms of Rangers and anybody else in Scotland.
No, I would agree. I think maybe now he's starting to realise how big the job is. But listen, they'll take care of their own house and their own business. Do you know what I mean? We'll just need to keep doing our thing. I think we'll sign more in the summer. I think we still need another striker for the Champions League. To be honest with you, I think but I do think there'll be a few outgoings as well. I think there'll be a few outgoings in the summer. But I think in regards to Ian Beale, he proved his inexperience for me, mate, when he got involved with that spat with Chris Sutton. If he sees that as Postecoglou, would have been like that, right? No bother, mate. Do you know what I mean? But you know, and then as you're saying as well with the cup final, he's come out and said if we get beat, so he knew. And he knew. In his head, he knew he wasn't going to win that. They set up completely different in that cup final to they did at Ibrox. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand. It is what it is. We've got the trophy. Aye. You know, but any normal sort of Rangers fan that I speak to will tell you that they're in dire straits now because they know how big a job it is. They know how big a job it is. I think there's something like 11 first team players out of contract two of them are Ryan Kent and Alfredo Morelos. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, so it's going to be hard, I think, from me. But like you say, I think we're going to progress. But on talking about progression, a wee comment from John on YouTube. What area, Jason, do you think Ange will want to improve on in the summer? I'm guessing that's
Striker.
what you mean.
I think you need to get a striker. I like what I've seen him, but I think he needs another striker just to give that, to keep them on their toes. I think he might. But I don't know. You've got a few coming back though, because you've got Barkas and that as well. I think he's going to need to get rid of a few. To get more people in. But I would definitely say, I think for me personally, I think we need a striker. I think you should have 3 strikers. Do you know what I mean? You've got Kyogo, you've got O, and then you have one that's sort of just there, but it's trying to convince somebody that's going to come in to be third striker. But then again, O's not got the set. I don't think we'll see much of him next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got him in the new, gets him into sort of up to speed with that. But we've been saying for a while that we need another striker. So I think for me, a striker, maybe a goalkeeper, but I don't think he's in any rush to get a goalkeeper because you've got Barkas to come back and all. I'm really interested to see how this Barkas one's going to turn out, by the way, because I just think we don't have an option to buy. We don't have an option to buy him there that tells me that he's got plans for him. I don't know what you think, but
I was actually a big fan of him when he came, Jason. I know I've seen a few kind of Greek people saying that he wasn't the best, etc. But for me, when he played against us, the 2 games, he was very good. I've seen him in snippets when he was at Athens. I thought he was good. I've seen him in snippets. I've seen him in snippets when he's played for Utrecht. I've not seen a lot of the games, but I've seen bits and bobs of highlights and bits of his games, and he's been very good. He's been saving quite a lot more than he did at us, and he looks confident. And see, at the end of the game, he's cheering with the fans. He's doing the fans like him out there. And you know yourself, Jason. Sometimes the Dutch fans can be a wee bit ruthless. If you're not doing well, they boo you, and it can be quite ruthless sometimes in certain countries. So, but again, Holland's a good league in my opinion. The Dutch league, I think, is decent. The top, like PSV, Ajax, Feyenoord, they can beat each other, that league. So, I know probably Utrecht he's seen a bit of goals because obviously they're no a top team, your Ajax, etc. But I think he plays every week. He's been doing well. Their director basically says that they can't afford them. I don't know, Jason, about the full fan base opinion of Barkas coming back to play, because I know what he says in interviews, saying that it's brutal to be a goal at Celtic, but I think he's only talking because of during the COVID times where you see Scott Brown talking. But you see Scott Brown talking about it in his interview with, I think it was Keith Jackson and somebody else. He says during that season we were training in threes, we were training in groups of 2s and 3s. We were not really seeing each other unless we actually, when we turned up to the stadium, when we played games, that's when we got together, we couldn't socialise, we didn't really meet the new guys, and that must, Jason, for some fans might go, that's no that I think you kind of worry about. It's not a thing it should basically do anything to the players. But you played football, Jason. I played football. Some other guys have played football. The dressing room's a big part of football. If you're getting on with your teammates, you're socialising, you're getting to know them well on the park, off the park. It helps you off the park. Because a lot of people, I'm into podcasts, mate, so I see on YouTube, I listen to a lot of podcasts with old professionals. They say, I know it's no good now to have the drinking culture, but when you went for a swallow, you went for dinners, the last 10, 15 minutes of games, you're pulling each other through because you're a proper team. It must be hard, Jason, to come into a new team, no language, no anybody. But let's be fair, look, there's no taking away that he was hopeless for us. There's no taking away for it. We can't take it away. And what we've seen from him at Celtic, he wasn't the best. But the last game I seen him play against St Johnstone, he looked quite comfortable because obviously we were depleted due to COVID issues. He looked decent, good with the ball at his feet. Ange likes that. Again, I don't know what's going to happen with that, Jason. I think it could save you money. if you went and buy somebody, you've got a £5 million goal sitting there. So, but Joe Hart for me is still number one right now. But I'm kind of, I'll go into some of the comments, Jason, but I'm agreeing with some of the comments, maybe that a goalkeeper. I'm always thinking about European football, Jason. I think in the SPL, the squad we've got could go and win it again next year. You don't need to improve. But you need to improve every year, because I think that's why teams down south, like your Liverpool's, they're gone stale. They're only really signing one or two players. They're no rejigging their squad. But I think
next talking year, about a Champions League goalkeeper, but
yeah,
Barkas is a Champions League goalkeeper.
That's true. He played in it with Ajax. Ajax Athens, didn't he?
So
it's an interesting one, Jason. I'll get your thought on it in a minute, mate. But for me, it's an interesting one, Jason. I'll get some of the comments in 2 wee seconds. But we one from Jason. James. It was the wrong time for Barkas. Might be a good manager like Ange to guide him. Obviously, Ange has seen him, Jason, the pre-season. He's sitting on loan. I think it's one to keep an eye on. Do I think he's going to be here? I really can't tell, because Joe Hart is obviously still doing well. Siegrist is there. Scott Bain's obviously just there at the third choice, and I think I've heard he's doing bits and bobs behind the scenes as well. So I don't know, Jason, about Barkas, but it wouldn't have been the biggest surprise, mate. But very rarely, Jason, do you get a guy at Celtic leaving and coming back to play. I know Mikey Johnston's been told he's to come back again. I know I've seen as well that he's maybe going to play with Ireland. No really much fault on that. That's his choice when he wants to play international football. But for me, Jason, on the Barkas situation, I don't know what you feel, mate, but I think it could be a bit of an interesting one this summer, because Utrecht said they can't afford them. So if Celtic said, listen, he's coming back to training, we'll see how he goes. We don't know. We're no privileged to that information, mate.
I just think that if Ange didn't rate him and he didn't see a future in him, he would have put him out to a club that was going to take the option to buy him. The fact that he's done it to Mikey Johnson. Nobody's ever asked Barkas about it. Nobody has ever said, if you to go back. He's not, and do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of fans that, listen, I said that I know when he came in, I was like, he's dreadful, but I struggled with lockdown over here, and I was in the house with my family and my missus and my Wayne, do you know what I mean? So can you imagine going to a different country with nobody and all you're doing is going to training and then you've got to sit in a hotel room? That's got to have an effect on you somewhere. It's got to have an effect on you somewhere. So I think I'm very, very interested. Be very, very interested to see how it goes myself. He could come back and then he might just have that one game, but he plays well, and then he might just stick with him. But Joe Hart's still there. I rate Siegrist as well. I think he's a good goalkeeper as well, mate. Do you know what I mean? But
see, I'm always thinking about European football, right? But see, for us to improve in Europe, as Siegrist, I know we can't really comment because we've not really seen him in Celtic colours properly, really. Is he going to be the next guy to take us to the next level in Europe? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
He's never played at that level, but so you need to. Do you just go right? Fuck it then. Oops, sorry. Do you know what I mean? And just try him. He's a guy. I rate him. I think he's a good goalkeeper.
I think for me,
the difference for this year is the next year this year is that this team's going to be getting into their third season playing together. They've had 1 year in the Champions League, and do you know what I mean? I've always sort of said if you get a team together for 2, 3, 4 years, that's when you start to notice a big difference in Europe. That was how them across the water got to a final, because that team was playing together for 3, 4 years, so they knew what they were doing. Do you know what I mean? And I think, I don't know. I just think that Europe. I want a European run.
I've said, Jason, that say if we go, well, you win the league hopefully, and you do obviously in group stages. As long as we improve on last year, I think if you win a group, mate, you finish second, it's an unbelievable bonus. But you just want to finish third do something decent and maybe try and go and get a run in Europa League. But again, you've got to strive to be the best, Jason. I think we will be better next year in Europe, no matter what competition it is. Hopefully, it is a Champions League. Again, you've got to keep saying hopefully. You don't want to jump the gun here, but it looks like that's the way it's going to be, and I think you do need to strive to be better. And I'm probably agreeing with you, Jason, in terms of John. Obviously, John's question he asked. I know people were talking about how good Kyogo is, but why can you go buy somebody that's better than Kyogo to come in and play with him? That's doable. A lot of fans are saying, Jason, I don't know from the top of my head, but you could get out. Obviously, you need to spend more money, but you need to spend
You're going to need to spend top dollar, but Celtic are not going to go above any minimum. They've spent $9 million in Edinburgh. They're not going to go above that.
No, but I think £9 million should be maybe a good way to go, because I do believe we need.
Well, look at the proof of the pudding.
I would say you need. Listen, Kyogo's top draw. I'm not saying that he's not going to be the main man next year. But I'm just saying some fans are saying a guy to maybe come in and play centre fiddle. Why not try and sign a guy that's going to challenge him? A guy that's going to take care of him. You need to always try to be better. So, I don't know the recruitment policy, the Celtic, the scouting, obviously the money, the budget, how much they're going to want to go and spend their striker. Kyogo will have another year under his belt at Celtic. He's played in it last year, so you would expect him to be more clinical next year, a bit more know-how. But again, for me, you've always got to try and strive to sign players who are better than you've already got, because I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake the other side have made. They've no signed guys to come in and really challenge. Well, they say they have, but I think they've got a lot of kind of fringe players in the squad. Give me a comment as well from James. He was planting one of the things I says. McGregor came back. Yeah, that's true, James. But I was talking about normally. I know Ralph's just come back.
Christie, I know.
Aye. I know Christie, but normally at big clubs, very rarely do guys come back and play. It's maybe the one or two, but we've been lucky with Ralph and McGregor. Chris, that's probably three. I know Ayer as well, but it doesn't always happen. But
see, for me with that though, right? I've said it before. I think the reason that Ayer and Christie done well and came back and was a success because they get put into clubs in the same league.
Mm-hmm.
Like Christie went to Aberdeen, Ayer went to Kilmarnock, Scales went to Aberdeen. Scales, I'll tell you right now, Scales could stay and loan to Aberdeen for 4 years and he's still not getting in that Celtic team.
No, I don't think you play at Celtic personally. I agree with you. I don't think he's going to come back and do anything. Again, we don't know how. I think Bernabei will see the best of him next year as well. Obviously, he's got a new baby, etc. So it might be more settled in this year, and then away he goes next year and plays better. But the last wee bit of the pod I want to speak about, mate, is a certain Mr. Alex Ray. I called him out on Twitter the day yesterday, saying that obviously Mr. Sands has left Rangers. He came out in Super Scoreboard and he says that he doesn't like utility players when it came to Tati. Didn't think he was going to be good for Celtic. Now, bear in mind, nobody in Scotland really knows how good Tati was or how he played or what he done in his football career. He says he doesn't like guys who play many positions. He doesn't know what position they play, etc., etc. Oh, but James Sands is going to Rangers. Oh, he's a very good player. He can play a lot of positions, etc., etc. Oh, dearie me. Cheesy peeps, he's absolutely... Oh, he's done himself in. Alex, you've totally ridiculed yourself, mate. Oh, I'll let you in that one, Jason. But I just thought I'd bring it up because it was funny that obviously James Sands has went back. Again, the guy's done better than me in my career, but I've said, I know it's a bit of banter, Jason, but I feel that but I do feel that it's funny, Jason. I just feel it's comical. But I do feel that he's got a bit of egg in his face, Jason. Hatate for me is going to go for a lot of money. Again, I don't want to disrespect James Sands, but I do feel that he won a competition to get Rangers. I just really don't know how.
I think he won a competition to play football. Never mind play for Rangers.
I think he get one of the wee lucky bag
Wouldn't he,
competition winners, man.
as JP says, he wouldn't get in my 5 team. He's red rotten.
That's but I don't know what you feel on that, mate, but I do think Alex Ray's got a wee bit of egg on his face, because I find that quite funny that he came out on national radio. And to be fair, see, since that, Jason, I've not even heard him on radio since. I don't know if he's been paid off.
He's doing it red. He's doing it Reading. He's doing it Reading.
But he's obviously
getting rid of
the but I just thought I'd bring that in, mate, because I thought it was quite funny that it's not worked out for James Sands and Hatate. It's 100% worked out.
Aye, well, Alex Ray's doing it Reading, getting rid of all the utility players because he doesn't like them. So, listen, I switched off on that, man. Ever since he put on Twitter saying about how the lights had went out or something, I was like, right, enough of you.
Well, I've put marked that tweet, mate. I put it up the other day.
another, mate. Honestly, another pundit that just hasn't got a clue what he's talking about when it comes to that sort of when it comes to it. Don't know how he could possibly have judged Hatate. None of his do what like. Same as Sands.
Tired, big man.
Oh my, the same as Big Sands. Like you said, he's done better than us in our career, but I think MLS is the fact he's really there and then signed a new deal with him tells you that he probably knows that that's his level.
Mm-hmm.
But Alex Ray, dear, yeah, he's probably got a bit of egg in his face, but he'll no care. Do you know what I mean? He'll probably still stand by it. You know, it's like Mr. Ferguson saying that he's really annoyed with Postecoglou because he brings on players and uses his subs effectively.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're meant to do. Do you know what I mean? No. In the year that we don't talk about, they were praising Rangers for that. Oh, you can just bring players on and it doesn't affect the team, and that's how you use your substitutes. But when we do it, it's a problem.
Yeah. It's interesting, mate. But my last wee comment from YouTube by John, our stars will have plenty of suitors in the summer, pre-prepare for departures. I agree with that, Jason.
100%.
I think there's maybe 2 or 3 that I think could be getting suited for. With guys like Jota, Vickers, O'Reilly, Abada. I think they'll be on the pipeline. Hatate. I think just about a few of the players, mate, will be highlighted with teams overseas, and I'd be surprised, Jason, if I'm not, because they should be getting looked at because they're doing very well. That's just what happens at a big club at Celtic. When you do well, you get your suitors. But for me, Jason, I think the one that does stand out to me, I know in the Champions League, he done well, and he says in his presser after one of the games, I think it was the last game, as Matt O'Reilly says, we need to do better next year. So you're maybe inkling that he's here for a bit longer, but he's obviously down south, Jason. He's obviously going to get into the Denmark team eventually because he's a very good player. But I think maybe, again, I'm just talking about by the rumours, but maybe he could be a name, Jason, that maybe could, I'm not saying he could be swayed, I'm just saying that it could be a name that could be maybe one to watch in the summer. Yeah,
I actually thought O'Reilly might have out in January. Listen, I rate O'Reilly highly. I don't think he gets enough credit for this year because remember, people forget he was playing in McGregor's position for a couple of months and he done it very, very well, I thought. But I do agree with John. I think there'll be a few going out this year. It might be something like Big Starfelt or somebody like that. CCV keeps playing. I mean, people are obviously going to take into consideration how good they two are at the back. Do you know what I mean? You've got Greg Taylor and all. But I don't think any of these players are in any rush to leave. But if the right move comes up, they're going to go. Especially the boys that are from down south. They'll obviously get ambitions that they want to go down the road and try and prove that they can play down there, which is totally fair enough. I think if any player does go, they leave him my blessings. Especially when Juranovic left. Can I understand these fans that go, he wasn't that good anyway. Right, all right, no bother. Ralston's better. I mean, no, he's no. I like Ralston, he's good, but he's no better. See, if Ralston was better, he'd be in the team now. But Johnson's come in and he's in ahead of him.
I must admit, I like Johnson he's solid defensively. I think maybe eventually it'll come with Ange about going forward and maybe take again. That just might not be his game, taking guys on and delivering in the box. That he might just be what I've always said is that Mr. Tavernier over the other side of the city should be doing. He gets praises for scoring these penalties and free kicks, but you need to defend. That's your priority is to defend.
Tavernier can't defend, mate.
And that's what I'm saying. He can't defend. If you look at just about nearly every goal against us, especially at Celtic Park, it's always on his side. I think they're starting to cut on to him, Jason, now. The guy getting in the Hall of Fame and he's one of the biggest losers that Rangers have had as a captain. So, but again, we could talk about that all night, mate. But the last shout to yourself, mate. Obviously looking forward to the weekend. What's your thoughts going forward?
Aye, just obviously St Mirren on Sunday now. We've got a wee score to settle up there. The last time we were up there, we were the only defeat. So I won't be saying anything on this podcast in case there's any St Mirren fans listening. So aye, I think it's be park, but we've done and we're back to league and we get the 3 points. And I think if he sets up and we go with the way that we're playing, we'll do all right. But we just need to watch because St Mirren are very, very good at home, mate. They're good at home. So they're a good side. He's getting them playing well, actually. St Mirren, actually,
yeah,
they're playing really well. St Mirren now. So they're going to help. They maybe fancy that. Maybe fancy it. They know that they've beat us there before, but I'd be very shocked. But that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to go on anybody else's podcast.
No, I agree, mate.
We've learned that one.
No, I agree, mate. It's just we just keep going and try and get this league wrapped up. As our own JP, the last week before we end the pod, foot to the floor. Let's get more trophies as the other mob don't stop. Correct, JP. We don't stop, mate. I'm glad to see you made an entrance, big man. But no, I agree, Jason. I agree with JP and I agree with yourself that we just keep going. We look forward to the weekend, which again, obviously JP is on tomorrow with Ada on the Goal Rush show. That'll be roughly around 8, half 8, same time as tonight. They'll take you through the weekend's games and the game on Sunday against St Mirren. But Jason, thanks for tuning in tonight with me and have a chat. The rest of the comments, again, I'm really sorry we couldn't get through them all. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of comments, but obviously me and Jason can only get through so much. But before I'll be loving leave yous, the Celtic FC Supporters Foundation, we have a night on the 6th of May at the Crown Plaza. The early bird tickets are now gone, but you can still buy your tickets. I'm sure it's $65 per person, and I think it's $6.50 round about a table of 10. I think it'll be now. That's at the Crown Plaza, the 6th of May. I think it's a Saturday. It's the Seville. It's all about the Seville, going through to Seville, etc. But absolute fantastic night, fantastic event. It's going to be brilliant, Jason. Again, I think it'll be good for our fans to get more insights. I think there'll be a lot of good stories about it and stuff. So they do some great work, Jason. And this event's going to be massive for them. So please, if anybody's really interested in that, please show support to the foundation and have a great night when you go. If you decide to take that offer up as well. They do some great work, Jason. So they're on Facebook, Twitter, and please contact their page. Just type in the Celtic FC Supporters Foundation and it'll be on your Facebook, Twitter as well. So, and if you like our content, please subscribe to the channel on the YouTube, Celtic Unrestricted View. You'll get a wee notification when we go live when you tap the wee red bell. It's totally free. If you don't know how to do it, just make a wee Google account and you'll be able to log in and subscribe to, hopefully, our channel, which we'd love to see subscribe because every subscribe helps us to promote the channel, helps us get the best guests we can for you and keep doing what we're doing, which we hope you enjoy. Again, Jason, we might not have the best opinions that everybody has, but we feel that it's kind of what fans are speaking about. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps us a lot and we thanks for the continued support. Me and Jason are on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and the page is on YouTube. Type in Celtic Unrestricted View, as I've just said. We're on TikTok as well, and myself and JP, we deal with the TikToks as well. So we're also on Facebook, Celtic Unrestricted View. Everything's on that as well. Any updates, etc., about new guests, etc. and the community page on YouTube. If you haven't got social media, myself and JP have got access to that, so we'll type in to that community about any updates, any when we're going live, etc. Any updates at all, you can get us on that. Again, if anybody's got anything they want to speak about in terms of its mental health, if it's just anything to do with Celtic or out with, please don't hesitate to give us a wee bell on any platform, Twitter, Facebook, anything at all. We'll be happy to help, because I know sometimes people don't like to talk to people they know. Sometimes it could be a stranger. Sometimes it's best just having somebody to listen. I think, Jason, sometimes it's good to listen, mate. We all like to talk. So if it's football or if it's just having a bit of joke, then I would like to think we're friendly guys. It might seem a bit ferocious talking about the Celtic on here, but I think outside of the pod, I think we're nice guys. But Jason and the listeners, thanks for your comments, and I'll see you again. And hail, take care.
Hail, cheers, guys. See you later.
You look as if you have just come straight away for the Green Brigade.
Aye, we'd have meeting at 6:30,
A big milestone for the captain as well. Considering obviously where we were a wee while ago, didn't know who the captain was going to be. A few, including myself, wasn't sure, but McGregor was kind of saying Julian and all that, and you weren't really sure who was going to come in as manager to start off with, and then who would be the captain. Obviously, because let's be fair, anybody who follows Scott Brown, it's always going to be a hard task to follow the way he was as a person, as a player, and as a captain.